Hello and welcome to The Balancing Act. I'm Olga Villaverde. Today, we've assembled some of our Balancing Act family and medical experts who will share their perspective as we all adjust to our new normal and deal with these unprecedented times. The Balancing Act starts right now. Hi, and welcome back to The Balancing Act. I am joined now by Dr. Michael Zinner of Baptist Health. He's the Chief Executive Officer and Executive Medical Director of the Miami Cancer Institute. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us on The Balancing Act.
Pleasure to be here.
I know how busy you must be, and just a few minutes of your time, much appreciated. Miami Cancer Institute, what are you and everyone there doing, not only to keep you safe, doctor, but all those patients that are stricken with cancer?
Well, let me just say at the outset, I've been doing this for 45 years, and I've never, ever seen anything like what we have to go through right now. So we usually see about 1,000 to 1,200 patients a day walk through the door of the Miami Cancer Institute. And you add that to the 1,200 practitioners or staff that we have. What we've had to do is, for their safety, for our safety, is screen every single person who walks through the door. So we've limited it now to only one entrance that anyone can get through. And everybody that comes through has their temperature taken. Everyone gets asked a series of questions about whether they've been ill, whether that's a patient, a staff member, or a visitor. And I suggest that the families get on those calls too, and you can see the doctor, talk to them. We even use FaceTime when we need to, along with telemedicine. It's the new normal, and let me say, if there's anything that's going to come positive out of this whole experience, we're going to learn how to use telemedicine in the future in a completely different way.
Your healthcare providers, they're working round the clock. You have an amazing team there doing everything they possibly can. How are their spirits? How are they being protected as well? It's just got to be so overwhelming.
You know, we're blessed with people, healthcare workers who have a passion for what they do.
Absolutely.
Who care desperately about the patients and their care. And of course, they worry about themselves and they worry about their families also. And so we do everything we can around that personal protective equipment, those PPEs.
Dr. Zinner, I also want to talk about just Baptist Health Hospital as a whole, because there are so many. What advice do you have, let's say, for someone who's not feeling well regarding the guidelines? I know many people say, oh, could I possibly have the coronavirus? Do I go to the ER? Your advice to those people who are scared now and maybe feeling some symptoms, if you will.
Yeah, I know this is a really complicated issue. And let me start with the worried well. Those patients who are actually well that may have the sniffles or something, an allergy or a cold that's just pretty routine. My advice is stay at home. Don't come to the doctor's office. Don't come to the ED. And in fact, if you have any questions, go to the telehealth. We have this thing called Care on Demand. It's now free, Care on Demand. Call that number and talk to somebody about it. Now, if you're, on the other hand, if you're someone who is developing the symptoms, and the symptoms I mean are fever, lower respiratory symptoms, cough, shortness of breath, then first get to the Care on Demand and make sure you get checked in with someone. If that doesn't work and you're getting increasing symptoms, call your ED and then let them know you're on your way in. Right now, we're only able to test people for the coronavirus who have symptoms. Our first priority is to test people who are in the hospital who have the symptoms. And the first priority is to test healthcare workers who have the symptoms. The second priority are those patients in extended care facilities who have the symptoms, and those first responders who have the symptoms. And if you think about it, that's probably the right way to go until we get this supply chain worked out.
Final thoughts, Dr. Zinner?
This isn't going to go away anytime soon. Stand by, do the social distancing, and please take care of yourself.
Dr. Zinner, thank you so much for your time and for your service to our country.
Thank you all.
God bless you and be
too.
safe. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Balancing Act, and I'm joined now by Warren Struhl. He's the founder and CEO of MyPhoto. Hi, Warren. How you doing?
I'm doing as well as I can. Nice to see you again.
Oh, great seeing you. You know, we've done so many fun segments here in the studio with MyPhoto and you. A little different here today. You know, thank you for inviting us into your home. I want to talk to you today, Warren, about the current state of affairs. You know, you're a business owner. How are you dealing with this and even with your employees? Because, you know, they're special to you. I know they are.
Yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough for us. It's been rough, obviously, for a whole host of other folks in the small business, medium-sized business sector, as well as obviously large corporations. We're just doing our best to be as upbeat as possible, be as safe as possible,
right,
and try to really keep the team up as much as possible. We had our normal 9 o'clock stand-up that we have our entire company meeting this morning, again on Zoom, so we didn't miss a beat there. Our factory workers are alternating, making precious moments into physical products for our customers. So we're doing what we can and at the same time being as safe as we can.
And when it comes to safety, how are you dealing with the COVID-19 in the actual factories and with the employees as well?
The normal precautions that you've been reading about, that the CDC has been suggesting, a lot of distance, obviously masks, gloves, etc., and alternating shifts where we're not having as many people at the same time and really trying to keep as much time and distance in between our people.
Well, I will say with so many of us staying home, we've actually, my girls and I, because you know I have 2 girls, we've actually had a lot of fun in terms of, making the best of it, I should say, right? Grabbing all these pictures that my mom had in a box. I kid you not. She had like 3,000 pictures, all thrown in a box. And I said, well, this could become a project, right? So with people, you know, like me who have pictures on their phone, maybe just pictures lying around, and we're doing that nice cleaning and looking back in time. What kind of ideas do you have for us that maybe MyPhoto could help?
Well, first of all, we're seeing that trend. It's incredible.
I know.
It's actually inspiring. And when we see photos of people and their families, more than ever, we see black and whites. We see pictures that undoubtedly came out of the shoebox for their photo albums. And what people are doing is there's a lot of apps out there. One, the easiest one is called Google Scan, which you can download. And literally you can scan in a second any physical photo that you may find in your drawer or in your shoebox or in your photo album, scan it. Now you have a digital copy, and then email it to us or go online to myphoto.com and you can buy right there. It's simple as that. And we're seeing more and more of those than ever before.
What ideas do we have with the products that you offer? I know there's just so many.
Well, we do have our core products that we always have, our mini blocks. People are collecting these more than ever. Thank you. We're actually launching in the next 24, 48 hours a photo tic-tac-toe board. So literally it's a beautiful acrylic piece with clear acrylic X's and O's, and each block, each piece on the board, 9 photos can be uploaded, and you can have whatever family photos on that board. We're also looking at some really interesting, cool puzzle ideas. So looking for innovation to keep people even busier at home than they, unfortunately, if they have to be there, keep them as busy as possible.
Absolutely. And those little minutes of watching the pictures and looking at them become hours and hours, and the day goes by and you're smiling and looking back at time, which is wonderful. Warren, looking into the future now, what advice do you have for business owners, you know, like yourself? Because this country is made of so many hardworking business owners like you and our CEO of Brandstar. Advice for them and the employees that are kind of right now just waiting.
So I would say that as a CEO, as a founder for 30 plus years, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of crazy times, never seen anything like this. And the only advice I can say is just stay somewhat calm. Everybody stay somewhat calm. It will pass. We don't know when, but it will pass. And if you stay calm and act rational, I think you'll have better chance of succeeding and persevering in the future. Don't do anything rash. Stay calm. Communicate with your customers. And most importantly, communicate with your employees. Whatever information you have, just be honest and open with them and keep everybody's chins up as best as possible, because we at MyPhoto will come out of this. We believe we'll be stronger than ever after this. And we're doing our best to help people while they're at home, at least keep their chins up as much as possible.
Great words. Thank you, Warren, so much for your time. And hopefully we'll get you back into the studio for another fun segment.
Thank you very much, and appreciate all we do together at MyPhoto, and I look forward to being back soon.
And again, that black and white photo, I'm going to send it to myphoto.com.
Just go to the website. It's very easy, myphoto.com, and you can do it right from there.
Great stuff.
That's all you got to do.
Thank you, Warren. Be safe,
Thank
and
you.
We'll see you soon. Welcome back to The Balancing Act. I'm joined now by Dr. Andra Campitelli. She is a leading naturopathic doctor based in Toronto, Canada. Welcome, doctor, to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great having you, doctor. I was reading here, doctor, you're an educator, health specialist, and a new mom. Congratulations. Tell us about the beautiful baby.
Oh, she's lovely. She's 5 weeks old today, actually. And thankfully, I'm very lucky. She's a very sweet baby and doesn't fuss a lot. So knock on wood that she stays that way, but we'll see. But it's been wonderful so far.
Doctor, let me ask you something. As I read your title, a leading naturopathic doctor, can you explain that for our viewers? I'll be honest, I have never heard of it.
Sure. So essentially all naturopathic doctors we're trained. It's still 4-year undergrad, 4 years post-grad. And essentially the focus of our practice is trying to use lifestyle, diet, supplements, nutraceuticals when it comes to health, restoring health. There's a really big focus on preventative medicine as well, so trying to prevent the onset of disease. But our primary focus is on what can we do to fix the terrain, fix the body, find out what's really going wrong, what it was that caused you to come to this place of poor health, and how do we fix all that so you don't get there again, as opposed to just giving a pill or a Band-Aid to try and fix it.
What would you say to those that are dealing with that stress? How do we manage it a little better?
Really managing that stress response is so important for people right now. We know that 75 to 90% of doctors' visits are due to stress.
Yes.
And really, it's astronomical. We live in this society of constant stress where we sort of, it's almost a badge of honor for people. We're kind of go, go, go all the time. Mm-hmm. And we know that stress has such a detrimental impact on our body and our health. So now in this time where stress is so much higher, it's a time where it's even more important to manage that stress. And stress in and of itself decreases our immune function. It makes you more susceptible to getting sick. And then if you do get sick, you're not able to fight it as well.
So today, with the anxiety that people are feeling, with the isolation that they could be, what is your advice? What can people do to help minimize that stress? I'm not saying it's going to go away, but maybe minimize it.
Absolutely. So the first thing is social connection. So whether it's through, a video, a FaceTime or a Zoom or something like that, connect with your family, friends, colleagues. That's the first thing, so that people don't feel so isolated. And then the second thing is really managing that stress response. We know that stress causes chronic illness. It's sort of the disease of our century. So you really have to implement things that help your body bring that stress response down. So whether that's sort of deep breathing or mindfulness, and a lot of gyms and yoga studios are transitioning to an online platform. So if you can engage in those online platforms where there's still a community component, but helping your body to bring that stress response down is very important. And then some people like to make use of supplements, and I will use supplements as well if somebody has a really severe stress response. So something like a little bit of GABA that they take, or I use a lot of lavender supplements, which really calms that nervous system down.
Any other tips you would have for just keeping that immune system strong?
Absolutely. And so this is the time where sort of the body and the terrain matter the most. We see that the individuals who suffer from coronavirus, those who already have a chronic illness, are not faring quite as well if they get sick. So this is where the terrain and the health of our body becomes really important. We need to make sure that our diet is really healthy and sort of on track and on point. Exercise and movement, if you can, that's very important. So going for walks, engaging those online platforms that the gyms are offering now, also very important. And then other things, for example, like the microbiome. So about 90% of our immune system comes from our gut. Mm-hmm. And if your microbiome's not functioning the way it should, then your immune system's not functioning. So again, you're becoming more susceptible to getting sick and then not being able to fight the infection.
I want to thank you so much for your time. I really thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And enjoy your beautiful baby girl.
Oh, thank you. I will.
Be safe and be healthy.
Thank you. You too.
Welcome back to The Balancing Act. Joining us now is our favorite chef of all time, Chef Ralph Pagano. Hi, Ralph.
Hi, Olga. How are you doing in the studio?
I'm doing great in the studio, but we're joining you at home, and we thank you so much for allowing us to come into your home under these circumstances. How are you? How is the family under this abnormal situation, shall we say?
The Pagano family is holding up just fine. My son and daughter, Charlie and Vincent, just celebrated their 5th birthday 10 days ago, which was an absolutely amazing quarantine party. My wife and I are getting to enjoy time together like we haven't had since our honeymoon. So all things being equal, I know that the coronavirus is not something to play around with, and we're going to talk about it with great respect for those who have been affected and infected. But as far as this guy's concerned, I'm at home right now cooking. I'm going to feed my kids lunch. I already fed them breakfast. I'm worried about what I'm going to make them for dinner. And I'm going to worry about how I'm going to do 300 deep knee bends today. That's my main concern.
I've noticed a few pounds shedded off of you. Am I noticing that?
We talk about balance. We talk about keeping our lives in check and making sure everything is right. And right now, I'm cooking a simple, easy, cheap, fun meal for everybody. I've got grilled chicken skewers, right? Who doesn't like things on sticks? Everybody loves things on sticks.
Everybody loves that. How do you do them? Because you take it away because you're a better chef than I am.
Well, listen, I'm sure yours is a very delicious recipe as well. You can do it a bunch of different ways. I'm going with a healthy version of my chicken skewer right now. I take chicken breast, and I've marinated it in ground fresh turmeric, ground fresh ginger, olive oil, and annatto seed. Right? And
turmeric is so good for you. I've read so much about it. I'm using it more and more as I cook at home.
It is going to be, after all this is said and done, the most popular root out of the coronavirus is going to be turmeric, right? Because it's good for you. It's anti-inflammatory.
Yep.
It's good for your knees, your joints, your bones, and it's antiviral. Same thing with ginger. This is a great time for people at home to take a minute, use your web browser, Google what is the thing that is the most healthy for whatever it is ails you, and start to work on your little potions. The fact is, cooking right now is more important than ever.
Let me ask you this, Ralph, because a lot of people just, come on, they're home, they go to the pantry. It's so much easier just to grab something. What other tips do you have to, like you said, you have the chicken there, but other healthy tips to not grab that, let's say, Oreo cookie or chocolate or potato chips, et cetera, et cetera?
It's simple right now to grab some fresh produce because the supply chain is still available and still open. Grab some zucchini, grab some tomatoes, grab some olives, grab some eggplant, and there's a million different recipes that we can share online and go to the website to figure it out, because I'm such a strong proponent of it. I say all the time that you need to eat every color of the rainbow every day. So I've got yellow corn, orange carrots, green peas right over here with a little bit of olive oil and salt on a heat-resistant pan that I've warmed up. I've got the grilled chicken that has the turmeric and the ginger for it. I've got some grilled Florida oranges that I'm going to squeeze over the top. And just because I like it a little sassy and a little spicy, I've got my very own Naked Taco hot pepper peach sauce.
I always got to put that on top, for sure.
It's always nice to eat when it's a little spicy.
Ralph, thank you so much for inviting us into your home and for sharing your tips. I do appreciate it.
Olga, thanks so much for having me. I'm going to leave this plate out in the mailbox for you. But there's probably going to be about 7 skewers less when it gets there.
Okay, make sure you wrap it in aluminum foil for me, okay? Wait, that's mine! That? No, I'm just kidding.
I was giving it away. I'm sorry, there's a lie here.
Love you, Ralph. Be safe and healthy.
Be good, baby.
Bye, Vinny. Bye, Charlie. Thanks so much for joining us today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Be safe, and we'll see you next time.